Welcome back to the channel and another road trip video. People seem to find these quite useful, so whenever I make a trip I do a quick video for you. So welcome back to the channel. It's time for another road trip this afternoon, heading from Livingston to Stafford. And first thing to do, I'm going to use a better route planner as usual. Fire up EV Notify. I've got the dongle here, the wireless dongle, and I've used an extender cable so that it's brought up here to where I can see that it's working. Car's at 99.6% charged. It's a nice warm day. It's 19.5 degrees outside, and the battery is therefore pre-warmed up to 13 degrees, or nearly 14 degrees. So we shouldn't be drawing much power, so we should have a really efficient drive today. And then that will then feed into a better route planner, showing us 100%. We plug in the destination. It calculates the route will be 5 hours and 2 minutes. We've got 35 minutes of charging. It's suggesting that I go to this Ionity charger, but I know for a fact that Ionity charger no longer exists. So I'm going to stop at Gretna Green, and I know I'm going to stop at the Crow Orchard Road site because I've looked at this beforehand on the computer, and I'll add the screenshot in here. And as you can see, we're going to stop there. So we'll have a quick stop at Gretna. It's going to be around about dinner time by the time we reach Gretna, so we might actually stop for longer than is suggested there. So we'll see how that pans out with the route planner once we get there. Anyway, I'll not do lots and lots of filming en route because you've seen lots of these trips before, and I'll just give you the key information when we get to the charging stops. Again, the point is really just to reassure people that this is the smaller Enyaq, the smaller battery Enyaq, the 58 kilowatt hour version. And even in this shorter range version of the car, it's perfectly adequate for doing this sort of trip, which is pretty typical of the sort of trips that lots of people will do. 272 miles we're going to be doing today. So that's reasonably a reasonably good distance. It's 5 hours. So even without stops, you'd be looking at 4.5 hours. So I think it's fairly representative, and proves that you don't necessarily have to buy the bigger battery version of an EV these days. It'll be interesting to see what sort of efficiency we get. Just yesterday on a commute into Edinburgh, I achieved 5.2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty astonishing. I've even in the height of last summer, I never saw economy like that. So we'll see how we get on, and I will check back in further on the trip. Okay, so we're at Wigan's Crow Orchard Road, and it's now 8:13 and we left at 4, so we've just driven for about 4 hours. We've been charging here for 17 minutes, pulled in at 15%, and the car is already back to 62%. It was charging initially, it was showing 107 kilowatt hours, 107 kilowatts, and then it dropped to just under 100. And currently we are charging at 53 6.5 kilowatts. So it's slowing down, and as you would expect, but we're at 62% after just over 15 minutes from 15. That's pretty good. We've got enough charge to reach Stafford tonight, but I don't want to be messing around with charging tomorrow. It's a work trip, and I'm going to be at work, don't have charging available. And then on Sunday, we want to get away, back up the road as early as we can. And so we don't want to be having to charge too much before we set off. So the idea is get as much charge on board here as we can. When it starts to really dip down, maybe below 50 kilowatts, then we'll maybe move on.